150,000 job losses and 7% unemployment. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to have a look at this article from news.com.au, which is discussing concerns about potentially having 150,000 unemployed Australians, or job losses, and unemployment at 7%. Now, frankly, I thought, have I gone through this article before? It seems to be a rehash of the same type of thing, and it's popular. It's trending on news.com.au, so I thought we'd have a look at it, because again, it's warning about the end of JobKeeper, another one of these cliffs that we've been warned about, and then we'll look at some good news as a counter to this, that no one's watching. Some good news. So let's have a look first at JobKeeper and unemployment, everyone. Now, this is the number of JobKeeper applicants in October. You had over 175,000 in Queensland, 323 in New South Wales, nearly 300,000, 290 with change in Victoria. If you look at that as a percentage of the employed people, Victoria was at 8.76, so nearly 9%. And in that, there are going to be some businesses that don't need it and some businesses that do. Some zombie businesses will be kept alive because of it. That was the goal of it. I suspect it was to reduce the dependency on Centrelink. Now, our unemployment rate has dropped down to 5.6%. You see it shot up there, and it's slowly going right down. JobKeeper has been removed. The Job Seeker Supplement has also been removed. We're being weaned off this artificial stimulus in the economy, and people are worried that with that weaning, we're going to chuck a tantrum and unemployment is going to rocket right back up. Well, they're predicting here, hitting at this level 7%. Okay, at least that's what they're saying in the title of the article. Now, that was the ABS data. This is the Roy Morgan data. You've got two approaches and two methodologies to surveying people, so you get different figures. Here they have their unemployment rate is sitting at 11.4. Their underemployment rate is sitting at 7.6. Combined is at 19%. Now, while one is higher than the other, Roy Morgan, you roughly double the ABS figures, and frankly, probably more realistic depending on who you talk to. It's the trend that's important. And here, it's gone down from 1 month to the next. It's gone down significantly from 1 month to the next. So we're also seeing a lot of these type of stories in the media about job vacancies soaring. Someone sent me an article from the Courier Mail the other day. 35,000 jobs in Queensland. Please come and take them. No one can find staff. You hear people who are in businesses just struggling to get people who want to work. You've got the government pushing forward a dob-in line, so you can dob in someone who came to a job interview, but obviously didn't intend to get a job and went out of their way to ensure they didn't get it, just so they can keep getting their government money. I mean, that seems pretty sad and pathetic, really, but I guess there's some people that just don't want to work. Probably the same people that try and rob you. So, 150,000 jobs lost. The warning about it could be lost. Let's look at this article, guys, because is this just a bit of fear? Because we're designed to worry about things. Humans are designed to be worrywarts in some regards. It's why it's an evolutionary response. It's why we've, survived this long. The unemployment rate is predicted to surge above 7% as jobs get cut and competition for work heats up. Okay, for work heats up. We're seeing competition for workers and people complaining they can't find people. But apparently, getting a job is going to be harder. It's not just the end of JobKeeper that will push up unemployment in April. The most recent published figures for March had the unemployment rate coming down to 5.6%. The next ones for April won't get published until May, 29 days after next month's budget. They'll show a substantial increase in the number of jobless as a result of the end of JobKeeper on March 28th. Treasurer believes it will cost 100 to 150,000 jobs. Another estimate from Melbourne University's Jeff Borland is much higher, as much as 250,000. If all of the extra people who lost their jobs remain available for work, they would push up the total number of unemployed Australians out of work who are also looking for work from 778,000 to more than 1 million people. But JobKeeper isn't the only thing that's changing at the end of March. Now, anecdotally, from my own family, my sister-in-law, she moved in with us because of her airport job. She was on JobKeeper there, and she was a bit worried. So she managed to, during that time, reskill, and now she's working 2 jobs. She's got an airport job, which wants her back, because they've trained her and she's quite good at it. And now she's got another job being a nanny for someone, an in-care nanny for a family, which is quite funny because compared to just living normally in our house with 5 children, it's kind of a holiday for her. So she's come out of this with 2 jobs, not just 1 job. In some ways, it's probably the fantastic thing that's happened to her. So I wonder how many people have taken advantage of this. We're seeing savings are going up. I've done another video about millennials saving more, and taking more control of their finances than any other generation because of what's happened here. So there could be a positive twist to it. Sometimes you need a bit of a shake-up. So, at about the same time, unemployment benefits in the form of job seeker for those aged 22 and over and youth allowance for those aged under 22 were busted back to something closer to pre-COVID levels. Without the supplement, which ended on the 1st of April, the standard payment, excluding rent relief, fell from $715 to $620 per fortnight for single people and from $660 to $565 for partnered people. $600 a fortnight. I mean, you've got to understand, this is not a UBI. Okay? The welfare payment is not UBI. It's designed as an emergency temporary measure to keep people from destitution and to stop them needing to resort to crime. That's what it is. Don't be surprised if the government kind of screws you when you expect them to take care of you. I think a lot of people are starting to realize how tough it is to live on this. And income tests were tightened, with income singles can earn without losing benefits falling from $300 to $150 per fortnight, and the rate at which a partner's income reduces benefits over a threshold, climbing from 27% to 60%. I see this is the thing. This incentivizes. This creates this perverse poverty trap where you incentivize people from breaking up. You incentivize single-parent families because they get more money. You know, when you're trying to help, the road to hell is paved in good intentions, isn't it? Perhaps more important has been the ramping back up of the mutual obligation requirements that were wound back in April 2020. From April this year, the recommended minimum number of job applications job seekers need to report each month climbed to 15. From July, it will climb to 20. I mean, okay, that's, what, 5 applications a week. Is that an onerous requirement, everyone? You let me know in the comments if you think that's a lot of work for $300 a week. So, exemptions for sole traders and self-employed job seekers ended on April 1. The result is likely to be an increase in the labour supply with more people looking for work, which might increase unemployment. So more people looking for work. This is because both more recipients will be required to look for work, and also because the mutual obligation requirements and lower payment levels will make it less attractive to remain on benefits. More people looking for work means more people counted as unemployed. Between March 2019 and March 2021, the number of unemployment benefit recipients roughly doubled to more than 1.6 million, while the number counted as unemployed climbed by much less, by only 200,000 to about 1 million. The gap was largely because many recipients no longer had to look for work. Moving back to pre-COVID settings, where looking for work will be mandatory, is likely to see the gap between those two lines narrow once again. As many as 400,000 more job seekers. The gap could narrow because up to 400,000 people leaving unemployment benefits, or because up to 400,000 people on benefits start looking for jobs and become formally unemployed. The unresolved question is the extent to which it would be the former rather than the latter. If it is entirely the latter, it would increase the unemployment rate by nearly 3 percentage points. The removal of JobKeeper and other economic headwinds means employment growth is not likely to be strong in coming months. This means that for the unemployment rate not to rise significantly, more people will need to leave benefits and exit the labour force than stay on them and search for work. This does not seem likely. It means we should not be surprised if the unemployment rate climbs back up over 7%. And Roger Wilkins is a professorial fellow and deputy director of the Melbourne Institute of Applied Economics and Social Research at the University of Melbourne. And this is from The Conversation. So here's a warning of it rising up to 7%, as essentially more people engage in the workforce because they have to. But let's look at some alternatives. Let's look at some good news, everyone. Some good news, because, well, yeah, this is the danger. You get trapped in just following, just the doomer trend. Oh, it's all bad, it's all bad. And I've fallen for that too. When you're looking at that, and then the danger is you won't look at alternatives to have a balanced perspective, and that's the real danger. So let's look at this. Okay, this is two things that I think are good for employment. Number one is steel production. These are more big picture things. World steel production is up 15%. I did a video on that. I'm looking at it right now. I'm updating my channel summary, and it's doing very badly. People who regularly watch your channel are showing less interest in this video. So I did a video that, steel production is up. Fantastic news for the economy. The Australian economy, we're one of the largest iron ore exporters in the world. So demand for steel on a global level, if that goes up, that's good for our iron ore exports. That's good for our coal exports. And hopefully that will flow through to increased demand and work for the people there, increased capital expenditure in some of the mines, ramp more things up. That could be good news. That leads to more employment opportunities. Then you have building approvals. Building approvals have skyrocketed. Guys, I mean, look at that. That's the home builder effect. This is the incentive of the government. Now, we're not going to talk about the question of whether it's worth it, because that's for future generations to worry about. Right now, for employment, from an employment prospect, you've potentially got many more jobs coming out from all of these approvals. And the fact that they have extended the time frame for these building projects to a more reasonable time frame, so it's not going to overheat and get squiddled away really quick, is also a good thing. Hopefully some people will wait a bit longer so that the costs of steel and timber and in these projects doesn't blow out, doesn't significantly increase their costs. So even if we do see an increase in unemployment, shooting up, there are these other, which I would say positive headwinds in the economy that in the medium term could have a benefit to it. What do you reckon, everyone? And the solutions to this? Well, a few things. I'd say ensure you consume a healthy diet of economic news. Okay, and I'm noticing this more and more, that the media will often emphasize the negative because it gets more eyeballs. It increases revenue. It gets more clicks. Everyone, people want, and that's worrying about dangers. It's a healthy and sensible evolutionary response. The foolhardy people who just run off and do something stupid, or don't worry, or don't plan, don't prepare, well, they've got less chance of reproducing and continuing their genetic legacy. So, tens of thousands or millions of years later, their children can refuse to have, their offspring can refuse to have kids to save the planet because they've, got vitamin deficiencies from eating fake Bill Gates meat. But that's a completely different topic. So I think we need to make sure we're consuming a balanced diet of economic news, because there's a few sides to it. What do you think, everyone? Be skeptical. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Do you think we'll see skyrocketing unemployment, and will it crash right back down? What are your predictions? As always, thanks for watching. If you're a fan, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube and Patreon. You can help us buy shares by signing up for SelfWealth, where we each get 5 trades, or for Stake. When you fund your account, we each get a free share. You can sign up for Independent Reserve for all your crypto trading, or support us by buying our merch. We've got pocket squares, handmade, right here. Find the link on the blog. Or you can use Teespring, Gold Pass, or PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.